Hello, welcome to the Love Your Lawn podcast. My name is Loudon Granger, and join me today as we talk about Rome, retaliation, and racing. For more lessons ranging from life to lawn, be sure to like and subscribe and check the notification bell icon. Let's begin. The right response, okay? It's inevitable. We're going through life. We're interacting with other people. We're social creatures. That's what we do. But sometimes other people might treat us meanly or might treat us how we don't really want to be treated. That hurts our feelings. That hurts my feelings. That makes me sad sometimes. That makes me feel almost instinctually like I want to fire back and get them back. I think that's kind of a natural thing. Maybe trying to do something equally as mean back to them, or maybe even a tiny bit more mean, just to hurt them, just to kind of get them back. Humans are like this, actually. The reason why we want to retaliate, why do we want to do that? Because maybe we feel embarrassed, maybe we feel weak, maybe someone hurt our feelings or was mean to us in front of our friends, and now we have to prove kind of subconsciously, socially that, hey, we're not weak. Look at us. We're going to put this person down. They're the weak ones, okay? Or even if no one's around, maybe we're like, listen, man, you're not going to talk to me that way. I'm going to show you who's really top dog, who's really boss. And it's kind of like this like retaliative nature that we have kind of ingrained in who we are. And we don't want to seem weak. So we strike back because that's what the strong person does. Is this true, though? That's what we're going to be analyzing today. Kindness is invincible, but only when it is sincere, with no hypocrisy or faking. For what can even the most malicious person do if you keep showing kindness and, if given the chance, you gently point out where they went wrong, right as if they are trying to harm you? That was said by Marcus Aurelius. Okay, he was a Roman emperor and a Stoic philosopher. And another little thing about Marcus Aurelius, see, when most people do give quotes and they say who these people, their names of these people, they don't really, I feel like, really tell you a little bit about that person. So I'm going to try to keep telling everyone a little bit about this person. I just want you all to know that the reason why Marcus Aurelius gets quoted so much is because he was one of the last. He's kind of now known in hindsight as being the last good emperor of Rome. This was a period of where Rome, before it started to decay, he was the final one before it changed eras, and then Rome started to fall and collapse because he was a great leader. He was one of the last 5 good emperors of all time of the Roman Empire. So that's just a little thing about kind of who Marcus is and why he's maybe so coveted in terms of his wisdom and in the way he ruled and led. Okay. So, when we're thinking about retaliation to someone who might have been mean to us or done us wrong, that is not actually being strong. Okay? Remember, we thought we would retaliate to show our strength, to show that we're not submissive or getting trampled down, that we will stand up to everyone. We think that's an act of strength. That's not. The retaliation is actually an act of weakness. And the real strength is by using kindness. Kindness is invincible, okay? Because when you really think about strength, right? Like just imagine like a strong person and someone who's physically not as strong, okay? I'm not going to say weak, but they're just not physically as strong, okay? If you were to have a little 2-pound weight over here and like a 100-pound weight over here, and you say, which one is the strong person going to do? You're probably going to say, the strong person's going to go towards the heavier weight. They're going to do the heavier, more challenging thing. And the less strong person would do the lighter thing in that case. Okay? This is in the case of physical exertion, but strength emotionally and in terms of responding, it's the exact same thing. The harder thing to do is to act with kindness and to go out of your way to be kind even when you initially don't want to be. Or if there's an instinct in you and you're like, I want to get this person back. If you have that instinct and you can still control it and do the harder thing, which is act with kindness and treat this person in a kind way, in a considerate kind way, That's the heavier weight. That's the more strength option. That's the more stronger expression of control of yourself. Okay? It's harder, it's kindness, and it's the right thing to do. And that is what Marcus says is invincible. That is invincible. You cannot break that down. According to Marcus, being kind, but not sarcastic or condescending. Be real. And with this as your intention, you can encounter the most malicious person, the person who's out there trying to cause harm to you. And what can they really do? He asked the question, what can they really do? They can't do anything if you always treat them with kindness. Everything they do to you, you absorb it, and you turn around and you treat them with kindness. What really can they do to you? They have no control over you. You are completely in control of yourself, which is pretty empowering. All right? And if given the chance, he adds, gently point out where they went wrong. Gently point out how they are mistreating you. And why does he use the word gently? Gently, it's just so interesting he says gently, because if you are not gentle about this, you might be perceived as being a little bit mean yourself. So he doesn't just say just point out where they went wrong, because that can lead to conflict arising. He says gently point out where they're wrong. Something that is undeniably non-perceived as being mean back. No retaliation whatsoever. Okay? And this is really the difference between a retaliating counterattack towards someone socially and just a nice, proper, kind response. Okay? The core human skills that this takes to do, to kind of have this kind of mindset and have this awareness is literally self-awareness at first. You have to be aware of yourself, and you have to be aware socially that you're dealing with another human, another center of the universe on the other side of this conversation, okay? You have to be aware of that. But once you are aware, it does not stop there. It continues into control. It continues into self-management and how you actually take control of how you behave and how you kind of interact, all right? And you are in the driver's seat here, so this is your true responsibility, but it does start with awareness. And once you kind of get this down, you're aware and you're controlling yourself properly, and you're maybe doing the stronger thing. You're not taking the easy way out. You're challenging yourself, which means to be kind when you almost don't want to. Just to go and be kind, be strong, be invincible, as Marcus would say. This will make all of your relationships better. And if it doesn't make a relationship better with the individual who's being mean, okay, it's definitely not making it worse, I promise you that. But for other people witnessing your kindness, they will label you as someone they want to be around. Someone they will notice that you are someone who doesn't put other people down. So this will enhance how people view you, how people want to be around you, your influence over them, and you're just overall generally leading in a great way. You might get people starting to look up at you, to you, not literally at you, but I mean, maybe, but you know, they want to strive to be like you because you're setting a great, kind, invincible model and showing some serious strength and restraint in terms of your self-control. So all the way around, this truly is an invincible strength. And it's definitely worth doing. To practice some of these skills, all those core human skills we just listed, along with listening, which is also a skill, which we've discussed, play this next game. This will enhance all of the core human skills needed to keep the kindness in your mind and keep the self-management ready to be used, okay? We are introducing this game. It is called the activator of Soda Pop, and it is a student-created activator. So take it away, Pat. Explain it to us.
Another student-designed activity, whole bunch of fun. Called it Soda Pop to avoid copyright infringement. The two students that created this game called it Coca-Cola Fanta. Now this game could be played with a multitude of different things. I don't think that the thing that matters the most is what's chosen based on the soda. You don't even have to pick a soda. You can make it red or blue. You can make it left or right. You can make it two words that are similar to each other if you really want to really confuse some people.
So what this game is called is Soda Pop, and what you do is you stand on one line. The group is on one side of the line, and the other side there's nobody on. and one side is called Coca-Cola and one side is called Fanta. And say everybody's on Coca-Cola and the leader in the front says Fanta, then you jump to Fanta. And say I say Fanta again and you accidentally jump to Coca-Cola, then you're out. And also throughout the rounds, then we can add in like tricks to like get you to jump easier.
Cool.
Yeah.
What line do we want to play on this?
Yeah, I like the edge of the carpet's fine.
Okay.
So this is Fanta.
Yeah, you're on Fanta.
Okay, I'm on Fanta.
All right, you ready? All right. Coca-Cola, Fanta, Coca-Cola, Fanta, Fanta. Oh. Now
Me?
I'm gonna switch it up. This side is gonna be Coca-Cola, and this side's gonna be Fanta.
Okay. Wait, so this side's right to this side?
Yeah, this side's Fanta. Fanta. Coca-Cola. No, you didn't. No, that wasn't that. Okay, whatever. Fanta.
What? Is this Hunch again?
Oh, so
This
he's
is
out.
Coca-Cola. Yeah, you stayed. You're out. All right, now one leg. One leg. Everybody on one leg.
If you touch your other foot, you're out.
Yeah, and well, you have to stay on one leg. It's gonna be harder. So, yeah. All right. Coca-Cola. Fanta. Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. Fanta. Fanta. Oh! All
I think we
right.
have our winner right here.
Balancing.
What about redemption?
Different groups you can play it differently with. If you have a group that's a little bit more skilled, you can play it. Well, even if you flinch, even if you start to jump. With other groups, you might just want to play it on the line because students will be flinching every single time if you get to younger grade levels. But for me, it's a great self-management game, more so just in practicing, managing your own ability to listen to what other people have to say and taking that information in, not focusing on what everyone else is doing, but paying attention to you and what you need to do.
If you or a friend want to send us an activator that you came up with for a chance to be featured on this show and perhaps have kids all around America play it, then be sure to send us a video of you playing your activator and explaining how your activator works to the email in the description below, and you might see yours on an episode of Love Your Lawn. Now that we have completed our activator portion of the show, it is time for us to get into our circle weaving portion of the show, and today's topic is kindness within circle. Okay? I just want to tell everyone, weavers, if you haven't been to our weaving seminar, our circle weaving seminar, I will spoil it a little bit. When Tom teaches people how to facilitate their own circles, he says circle is based upon one thing, and that is dignity. Okay? And what is dignity really? If you look up what dignity is, you'll find that dignity is truly a state of worthiness. A state of worthiness of being respected or honored. Okay? So it's about being worthy of being respected and honored. Okay? And this is how we want to treat other people in the circle. We want to treat them like they're worthy to have our respect, worthy to be honored by us. And basically what that means is we are treating them how they wish to be treated. Okay? We're understanding how they want to be treated, and then we are being considerate enough and thinking about it and trying to honor them in the way that they want to be treated. Okay? And if you are doing this, and if you are being considerate and thinking about how does this person want to be treated, then you are definitely acting with kindness. Because if you look kindness up, kindness is the quality of being friendly or generous or considerate. Okay? And as the weaver, you want to start to foster this consideration and this state of dignity within your circle. And that is the true expression of how you can be kind in circle, how you can have this invincible strength in circle. It starts with kindness, dignity, a state of being respected and honored, and treating someone as if how they want to be treated. Okay? Now, when I say this, I don't want you to think that if everyone's being kind, we all have to agree. That's not true. Okay? You don't have to agree in circle. And you can still be kind and disagree. And that's totally fine. personally, I really do believe some of the best circles I've been in are ones where all these different people are coming from different points of views and they don't see eye to eye on it initially. Okay? They still treat each other with kindness, dignity, and honor each other's ways of being treated, but they all bring their own point of view and perspective on a specific topic. There is some disagreement, and everyone can leave that circle after discussing and listening with a new perspective, a new common perspective across how everyone else views a topic. So I'm just saying this because I think those types of circles are the most valuable. Those are the ones where people come in as person A and they leave as person B because there has been growth taking place in a circle. And you can't have that growth without some disagreement, but you also can't have that growth without this dignity and kindness as well. Because disagreement without dignity and kindness is an argument, and that is just horrible. That's just a mess. No one's bettering themselves in that. So it's just kind of interesting to think about that. Disagreement doesn't mean you're being mean, okay? You can still treat each other with kindness and disagree and not see eye to eye, and that's where you grow and develop. So personally, this is just my personal thing, I really do kind of like those kinds of circles because I feel like everyone leaves that circle feeling better and feeling like they've grown and they're understanding the world from a whole different point of view. And that's really what the circle tool is kind of used for, especially when discussing fish and stuff like that. So remember what Marcus said, kindness is invincible, but only when it is sincere. You are not faking it. And disagreeing and kindness can both coexist. That's okay. But regardless, as the weaver, you must understand that circle is built on considering how each other wants to be treated and honoring that and acting with kindness. Because they're all worthy of this state of dignity. Okay? And if you lay that as your foundation, like Tom says, it's built on one thing. If you lay that as that one thing you're building it on, I promise the circle will be very, very good for you and all of your community who's doing it. Okay? So just remember that, weavers. And that will close the circle for us today. In other news, I am blown away from the stuff that I saw yesterday. I just keep thinking about it over and over again. Okay, I don't know if you can tell, but I've been out in the sun recently, and my producer, Abby, she was out in the sun, and she got very much sunburnt. Okay, we did not have sunscreen on, and it ended up being, we thought it was going to be a little cloudier of a day, but it ended up being a very sunny day, which was awesome, and it fit just in line for what we saw. We went to Shazy Central Rural School, and we went over there, and they were having their first ever community day. And here's me reporting live on the scene from the location. Check it out. Hello, this is Loudon Granger here. We're reporting live from Shazy Central Rural School. Behind me, they had their first community day, their Spartan day, wrapping up their entire season of presenting their step presentations to their elementary school kids. And here they are putting a exclamation point on the work they've done by having them all come out here and race. We have obstacles that they've built by hand that they got off from the Spartan website. They did the tools, they used it and built these obstacles. They set up a whole entire race course of varying age level and difficulty, and they hosted it all day long, putting together a wonderful, wonderful masterpiece, basically. It was a fantastic thing to be a part of and watch happen in front of us, and all of the students, all of the younger kids enjoyed themselves so much. They all got their own medals and had a great time.
Today's event is the culmination of a year's worth of effort of the Summit team, and it's also the culmination of the presentations that every kid in kindergarten through 6th grade saw with our Summit team to do that. So the event today is really about teamwork, and it's about reminding them of our ABCs and hope through action and how to combat bullying together. And the only way that they were successful today is if a team went from start to finish together. And thanks to Spartan, we get to do it in a cool, fun, physical way to remind them of everything they've learned for the whole year. If you see here, Gosh Chevrolet actually helped financially sponsor the Spartan part of today, because of course the focus of today is teamwork, but the Spartan part is Gosh got us the banners, the start and finish banners. They got all the kids the medals. They also provided the trucks for a photo op when we got finished, and the and they helped pay for all of those things, and we wanted to give them a shout out. So when we're finished at the end, Goss is part of the picture, and we thought it would be cool if they brought some awesome trucks with them, and they did. They're really cool. And we want Goss to keep supporting Sweethearts and Heroes and our superheroes in our schools, because without them, we would lose all the really cool things that they spent an awful lot of money on that we couldn't have afford otherwise. And the kids have those permanent medals now that will forever remind them of this event, and that's all thanks to Goss.
Wow, what an incredible day at Shazy. Incredible work done by all of them, and such a memorable experience for all of the students who were involved. The older students, the younger students, even the teachers that I talked to, the other teachers like the gym teacher, and even there was a substitute teacher there. I just picked their brain a little bit and asked them what they saw, how they felt, and really what was happening. And they were all just so blown away at the attention to detail done by these high school students, and about the empowerment and joy and lessons they were teaching the younger students. It was just incredible. Also, I will say a huge shout out to Goss Chevrolet for their involvement with Sweethearts and Heroes and sponsoring the STEP program and Community Day for Shazy. This was awesome. It was money that was actually put to great use and will truly impact this generation. It truly, truly will. So I will say thank you very much, Chevy dealers, specifically Goss Chevrolet, for your act of kindness. Thank you very, very much. If you or your school want to be featured on the Love Your Lawn podcast, be sure to shed some light at what's going on. Send us an email. Our address is in the description below. And remember, loving your life starts by loving your lawn.